into mellow, we shall follow in his footstep and also translate the word in that way. The particular loving mood or attitude relished in the exchange of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called rasa or mellow. The different types of rasa, which when combined together help one to taste the mellow of devotional service in the highest degree of transcendental ecstasy. Such a position, although entirely transcendental to our experience, will be explained in the section as far as possible, following the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami. Without releasing some sort of mellow or loving mood in one's activities, no one can continue to perform such activities. Similarly, in the transcendental life of Krishna consciousness and devotional service, there must be some mellow or specific taste from the service. Generally, this mellow is experienced by chanting, hearing, worshipping in the temple, and being engaged in the service of the Lord. So, when a person feels transcendental bliss, this is called relishing the mellow. To be more clear, we may understand that the various feelings of happiness derived from discharging devotional service may be termed as mellows of devotional service. I think we'll have subsequent speakers speak on part 3. It's a long purport, but today, as Prabhuji mentioned, we're going to discuss the second paragraph of this chapter, which is very interesting. Thank you so much. अज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये अंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नीलाचल निवास नित्याय परमात्मने Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannath Namaste. Thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha every evening, discussing chapter by chapter, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. So in the beginning of Nectar of Devotion, there was characteristics of devotees and how to be a good devotee is how to extract rasa and what are the traits of a devotee. And as Nectar of Devotion is coming to an end towards the end of now we are in chapter 20. Srila Rupa Goswami is explaining how to detect those experiences, which is termed as rasa, and Srila Prabhupada has gone and explaining the rasa means mellows. So these 5 rasas are essentially for a very, 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 very high elevated devotee. This is probably not going to happen to many current devotees, including me, actually. But we should recognize that when somebody is talking about some character, some personality, some characteristics, we should recognize that that characteristic from the past time is one such rasa. So, so you do some service, then Lord is pleased, and you are constantly in that emotional mood to serve the Lord, and Lord gives you happiness, and that happiness is categorized in 5 general topics of transcendental mellow. And we may not have that in our day-to-day service or the day-to-day experience, day-to-day feelings. But when such typical characteristics are shown by certain personality, we know that these are essentially those symptoms, those experiences. So we should not think that we are not up there and we feel dejected or whatever it is. We should not feel that way, but we should relate that the outcome of bhakti can be so powerful and so ecstatic. So, with that mindset, let's deep dive into these five subject matters. The first characteristic or the experience is called vibhav or excitant. So, Krishna consciousness can be a very exciting journey. Krishna consciousness excites different people. It agitates our mind. It gives us soothing feelings, but it also during the time of kirtan, during the time of when everybody is trying to rotate during kirtan, when there is devotees jumping at different times, it gives that element of excitement. And Srila Rupa Goswami explains that vibhava is of two types: foundational and stimulating. Foundational in the sense that when you see the Lord in a very beautiful attire, there are various different attires of the Lord which devotees make during Ram Navami. Lord Jagannath is offered Raghunath Vesh for that matter. And in the month of Kartik, Lord Jagannath is given many different kinds of Veshas based on the pastime of the Lord. And these foundational elements are imbibed in you over a period of time. And these foundational attributes excites you. So this excitant in devotional service can be foundational or can be stimulating. So in stimulating, you may be trying to make one or two items for the pleasure of the Lord. But often, when a pure devotee is making five or different items, he's basically making the same juice for the Lord. But if he crushes the juice from apple, orange, grapes, he can basically make five or 10. And seeing the excitement that pure devotee is feeling, it stimulates you to make more and more. But this is at a lower level example. But thinking about seeing Krishna wearing a peacock feather and the forest flower garland, devotees in Vrindavan used to get excited, and they used to uh, go miles and miles to see Lord uh, dance, Lord uh, play with gopis and gopas. And this used to give a lot of happiness. Nanda Baba, seeing Lord Krishna after the day of appearance, he gives a big feast to the population of the entire uh, Nandagaon. And because of that, because of this beautiful Krishna is very attractive, and seeing Krishna, people get enthused, people get excited, devotees get excited. And is this excitement is something we have to internalize in our lives to prolong bhakti. Most of the time, whenever we go through the daily motions of the day-to-day life, where there are so many ups and downs, there is so many arguments here and there in the office or here and there, it really takes the exciting angle of bhakti away from us. And that is where we always need that catalyst. We always need that excitant, as Rupa Goswami puts it, vibhava. And this excitant can be in the form of our ruchi, which is internal, which is foundational. And sometimes, even if we do not have ruchi, but if we have friends and devotees who do certain things and it excites you, that is also good enough. So it's not as if everybody is born with a silver spoon. Everybody's upbringing is very different. But having that excitement when Kartik is coming, and in Vrindavan or Mayapur or Jagannath Puri, there happens to be a Kartik Yatra where 10,000 people congregate, and there is to be this Dham Yatra kitchens, which is on Discovery Channel. Just to see that in action excites devotees. Or Sadhu Sangha comes up in the Memorial Day weekend to see Sadhu Sangha in action, 2,000 people in a Dallas auditorium jumping with joy for 2-3 days with a lot of energy. It excites. And if we do not have that excitant or stimulant, as Rupa Goswami says, there are two kinds, foundational and stimulant. We need both actually. And when we end up doing this, it basically recharges the battery of bhakti, and we derive the transcendental mellow. So that's vibhaga, vivava, or excitant. And then the second aspect of transcendental mellow, or the experience or the feeling, this feeling should not be taken in a wrong context as if these are all sentimental or anything like that. Bhakti has to be experienced. Love has to be expressed, and when you express love, it has to be felt. It doesn't have to be felt with the intent that you're joining bhakti with a intent to be felt. It is not with a selfish mindset. It is a natural process. The effect of love is actually a natural phenomena. Everybody and anybody in this world is controlled by love. It's very natural. And when love is experienced, when the care, compassion, love is experienced, it is felt exactly like how Rupa Goswami is talking about mellows, which are experienced. So vibhava or excitant is the first one, and the second is anubhava or the external effort. So this is basically external transformation that reveal the bhavas in the chitta. So here the example is dancing, singing, shouting, laughing, rolling on the ground, and so on. And when Akrura entered Vrindavan, realizing that Krishna and Balaram has played in Vrindavan, he rolled in ecstasy. And that brilliant manifestation of Akrura rolling in Vrindavan is too much of excitant for devotees like us. One of my devotee friend who lives very close to Mayapur in Calcutta, he mentions that um, during the festival where essentially the festival of Gaura Purnima is actually a culmination of Advaita Acharya's appearance day, who took birth near Santipur or has his hut near Santipur, then followed by Nityananda Troyodosi, which happened slightly after Advaita Acharya's appearance, followed by Gaur Purnima. So in the Santipur festival, once my friend had gone and he saw the two brothers, the two priestly brothers from Mayapur, Jananivas Prabhu and Pachagni Prabhu, rolling in the soil in front of the the soil in front of the Shantipur temple of because of Advaita Acharya, who prayed with Gangajal and Tulsi, the subsequent manifestation happened and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And that purity in which Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajagni Prabhu used to roll in Santipur, as it is mentioned here, Anubhavs, you experience it with an external effect, dancing, singing, shouting, laughing, rolling on the ground, exactly like the two brothers were rolling in Santipur festival. Just to hear that experience through a devotee, hairs will rise from your skin, and that is substantial enough to experience the transcendental mellows, anubhava or external effect. Similar to how Akrura, while entering Vrindavan, was ruling. The third item, which is experienced and is discussed, is sattvika bhava or internal effect. And the sattvika bhava or internal effect is possessed by bhavas in relation to Krishna. And these purity of internal effect of sattvika bhava can be experienced by very high level devotees. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not see Lord Jagannath after Snan Yatra, when Lord Jagannath goes into transcendental illness for a couple of weeks, he doesn't give darshan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu internally was coming to have darshan of Lord Jagannath and have Jagannath Mahaprasad every day, every day, every day. And for those 2 weeks, he just couldn't see the cynosure of his eyes, Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is Krishna in separation of Radharani. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani in separation of Krishna. So when he couldn't see, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu couldn't see Lord Jagannath for 2 weeks, the internal effect of separation aroused. And that with that arousal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Alarnath temple, which is 17 kilometers from Jagannath Puri. In the Alarnath temple, he saw Alarnath, and with so much of internal heat, he fell down in front of Alarnath with ecstasy, with the transcendental mellow, and he melted the stone. And till today, when you go to Alarnath, 17 kilometers from Jagannath Puri, you will see the outline of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. He's so tall, his hands are touching the knees. Beautiful outline is still there because he melted the stone. Till today, there is not a single blast furnace which can melt the iron, copper, zinc, bauxite to make aluminium, but not a single blast furnace or anything of that which can melt the stone, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melted. So the internal effect, the feeling of separation, and let's try to relate to it. So whenever there are festivals, there are some devotees who look for ways to decorate the Lord, to make garlands for the Lord. If Lord is getting a new outfit which is light in color, they will apply flower which is dark in color so that there is a contrast, and so on and so forth. And the backdrop, the decoration, and seeing the entire mood in which people serve, the outside, inside, you feel like doing something. There is that internal desire to serve, the internal desire to feel that Lord's best days are being celebrated, and how in the mood to serve, we get goosebumps to serve and make something, do something, serve the devotees, clean the temple, clean the areas in the temple which are often not taken care of. So these festivals bring out that energy, that element of transcendental mellow with a strong, and that can only be cultured by this process of chanting, hearing, interacting with devotees. And this is a experience which we all should have, we all should yearn towards in terms of how we deal with these beautiful mellows and how we experience it. Sometimes there will be devotees who will be working for hours and hours and hours, and they will never get tired. And this internalization of this ability to serve is so powerful that they will, on other days, they will not be working even half of what they're working on those festivals. But these festivals bring the energy in the devotees, which makes them ecstatic, and who can experience the mellows. And then the Sattvika Bhava is often a amplification of the internal effect, which is the third item, Sattvika Bhava. And in that Sattvika Bhava, there are visible symptoms of perspiring, becoming stunned, changes in complexion, uncontrolled shaking of the body. So when this Sattvika Bhava was shaking up, the internalization of bhakti was shaping up, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu often used to squeeze himself like a tortoise. People refer to that Leela as Kurma Chaitanya. And he will be perspiring when he sees Lord Jagannath. His heartbeat will become, and he will be stunned, aback. He will be stunned to see Lord Jagannath in a certain attire, and he will turn pale, uh, and and that Sattvika Bhav is feeling that. And here you think about Gaur Gobind Maharaj. Gaur Gobind Maharaj was a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and in Mayapur he was giving a lecture, and uh, there was a question to Gaur Gobind Maharaj, Srila Gaur Gobind Maharaj, about the relationship between Srimati Radharani and Lord Jagannath. And he was giving the answer, and giving the answer, he went into trance. He became stunned, and in that thing, his perspiration started, and he left the material world while giving the class in Sridham Mayapur. And that's why Srila Prabhupada, Gaur Govind Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, these personalities' disappearance are celebrated in ISKCON. Their disappearance are glorious. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj uh, was uh, was uh, was suffering from the ailment of cancer, and how a deep kirtan could excite him, and he could feel no pain of cancer at any time, and he was totally insulated because he had that sattvika bhava, or internal. Srila Prabhupada, during his last few days in this material world, was translating Srimad Bhagavatam, and you could see that video available, and you'll see that at this time when there is so much of pain, he is internalized, and he is stunned. He is he's fully into it. Parikshit Maharaj, for example, and he knows his end is there. And what does he do? He doesn't end up going to different places. He wants to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadev Goswami in the final days. These personalities, their end are heralded, and it's glorious. So Sattvika Bhava, or internal effect, is a process. It doesn't happen like that. More and more we do Chintan, more and more we do Manan, meditation. That will strengthen in you, and you will feel the separation, and you will feel like yearning to go to different places, and through excitement, or through an external effect, or through internalization over a period of the progression, you will go back and try to book for sadhu sangha, or kartik yatra, or whatever is stimulating you to and exciting you to increase those transcendental values in us. And the fourth is Vyabhichari Bhava. Vyabhichari Bhava is a very complicated bhava, is a very complicated mellow. And and you might have heard about Srimati Radharani, who exhibited a lot of mellows, a lot of very positive mellows. But sometime when Krishna will be coming, Srimati Radharani will not talk to him. He will close the door. She will sway away. She will not meet, or she will let her Sakhis tell that, go away. Srimati Radharani is not there today. So that envy, that little sweet envy and anxiety goes a long way in recognizing the extent of love Srimati Radharani had for Krishna. Likewise, Mother Lakshmi, uh, in the pastime of Lord Jagannath, after the Rath Yatra, when Lord goes to his Mausi's place in Gundicha temple, Lakshmi, along with the servitors of the Lakshmi, they go and break the chariot because they don't want, she doesn't want, Lakshmi Devi doesn't want Lord Jagannath to go with and play with his friends from Vrindavan, because going to Gundicha temple, those 7-8 days when Lord Jagannath is in Gundicha temple, is an exhibit of Sundarachal, or uh, or Vrindavan, or the manifestation of Vrindavan. And after 7 days, when Lord comes back in the Bahuda Yatra or the Ulta Rath Yatra, he is basically coming back to Lakshmiji's temple, because the main temple is called Sri Mandir or Lakshmi's temple. But for 7 days, when Lord goes, Mother Lakshmi breaks the chariot. And you might have seen that beautiful pastime exhibited during our Rath Yatra festival through the drama. And that is nothing but little envy, little anxiety, little joy. And that is called Vyabhichari Bhava, Mother Lakshmi. So we are probably not meant to exhibit those pastimes. Srila Prabhupada has told us that we should always have a relationship of awe and reverence to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are very high level expressions, mellows, and Vyavichari Bhava, as Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, is something which I provided the example of Srimati Radharani. And so going back to those 5 bhava, and the 5th is sthai bhava, as you can see, uh, continuous excitement. So we talked about vibhaga, or ecstasy, or through excitement, then subsequent ecstasy. Then we talk about sattvika bhava. We talked about vyabhichari bhava. The 5th one, which is the second paragraph of this chapter, is called sthai bhava, or continuous ecstasy. And this sthai bhava is often uh, exhibited by very deep devotees who will not do anything without association with the Lord, or darshan of the Lord, or staying with the dham. Because uh, when let's try to recognize or understand the continuous ecstasy angle. Most of the time, we try to find uh, devotional activity in our day-to-day life, and often the devotional activity increases as we get to a festival or get to the weekend, when we have more activity. And often the Monday to Friday, the job or whatever, takes us away from that continuous active ecstasy. But the devotees who want to maintain that, who want to have that excitement of devotional service all throughout, they go and they want to stay in Vrindavan or Jagannath Puri or Mayapur, and they want to constantly be associated with that constant ecstasy, which is missing in. Because sometimes what happens is, when you lose touch, when you go out on a Maya trip, or you go out on a situation, and by the time you gain, because it's all upbringing, it's all about the situation, it's all about our ability to understand the intricacies of loving. And if the love has a gap, often in order to really get the inertia back, it takes a bit of time. So devotees who want to constantly relish the transcendental mellow of Sthaiva, he or they all try to maintain that continuous ecstasy by staying in a dham or retiring in a dham, or, or getting association in a temple setting. And by doing that, they do not think about the external angle, which basically takes them away. And this thai bhav is uh, is is solidification of deriving continuous ecstasy in a transcendental devotional service. And and this is very difficult to practice in a we should all aspire to. But if it is not happening, but you can stay with excitants as special symptom or causes of ecstasy number one, or subsequent ecstasy, and try to maintain however much it's possible. But aspiring to get there is something. So when somebody is going back to Vrindavan, going back to Jagannath Puri or Mayapur, we should recognize that he has the desire to gain sthai bhav or experience transcendental mellow, and we could relate to it. There is definitely that angle wherein the aspiration, pada sevanam, one of the 9 processes of bhakti, is all about serving the dham. And that is just an example of deriving continuous ecstasy. There are devotees who wants to be secretaries of many sannyasis in ISKCON. When they become secretaries, they constantly derive mellows because they're serving the sannyasi in their day-to-day life, going to different places to discuss, talk, different pravachan, meeting different people, discussing devotional life. So it's a continuous ecstasy, and the people who have experienced that do not really want to come back. They want to stay with the association of. That's why you see there are many devotees who constantly want to serve as sannyasi in ISKCON. They want to stay alongside, so because they want to maintain that sthai bhava or continuous ecstasy, which I just gave an example from our perspective, but the sthai bhava of constantly thinking about Krishna was epitomized by Maharani Kunti. Actually, if you look at Maharani Kunti, whenever she used to get some happiness, she used to say, "Why are you, hey Madhav, why are you giving me happiness? Because when happiness, I tend to forget you. Give me sadness so that I will always remember." Mother Kunti epitomized that sthai bhav of seeking continuous ecstasy. So, so I hope these 5 attributes of transcendental mellows, as experienced and discussed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika Bhava, Vyavichari Bhava, and Sthai Bhava, based on some of the examples we discussed, at least makes us aspire to that ecstatic, devotional, ecstatic situations, or relate to somebody who is experiencing that. So that's the reason why it is not easy, it is not recommended for us to talk these mellows in front of non-devotees, because non-devotees, when you're perspiring, you're envying, you're behaving in a way that devotees will think that you are a mad person. Non-devotees would think you are a mad person. So it is always good to stay within the devotional framework, so that the non-devotees would not cannot understand when somebody is just thinking about this beautiful pastime of Krishna and is laughing by himself, and another person looks at it and he says, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you laughing by yourself?" Because that intent of that devotional ecstasy is being felt at that time. You remember the time when Srimati Radharani used to trouble Krishna in a very joyful way, and Krishna used to massage Srimati Radharani's feet, sometimes in a wonderful pastime, or Mother Lakshmi breaking the chariot of Lord Jagannath. These are sweet things which a devotee can understand and non-devotee will never ever understand. So which is why we should discuss this more and more with devotees so that we gain that relishment and we relish devotional service and we do not let others take us over, thinking that we are a mad person, because in a way love is very powerful, and when you're experiencing love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees, it makes it even more exciting, which a devotee can only understand. So I think I can end here. I think I covered the 5 aspects, the second paragraph, what Prabhuji asked me to do. And I hope it was meaningful in certain ways, how to experience transcendental mellows and what are the 5 types of transcendental mellows. Uh, this is all about bhava, and the 5 kinds of bhava is very nicely explained by Srila Rupa Goswami. And next time, if you see that, you could relate to it more relevantly. So with that, like to end here. Uh, want to hear some comments, corrections, and reflections. Some of your views as to how these bhavas you may have seen, or because it's very difficult to experience. Let's put it this way: we're not there yet. We're all aspiring devotees. We are all practitioners. So if you haven't seen it, make no mistake. But if you have seen it and you want to share, you want to add any comments, please do. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. All praise to Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna.
So, Prabhu, if we contrast devotion, bhakti, like what you were saying, there are these excitants, correct?
Hmm.
So, maybe an article, study, or whatever of Krishna would remind a pure devotee, and that would then manifest these bhavas in him. So, now, same way, in a material, and to give a very gross example, let's say there is an alcoholic, and even when he um, contemplates a drink, or even let's say he sees a bar or a bottle of liquor, that same kind of bhava, of the kind of, the ecstatic feeling that he will indulge in, also happens. So what exactly would be the difference between the material excitants
Mm-hmm.
and spiritual, as in bhakti?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for this question. The way I look at this, the alcoholic in this example is excited by this aspect of seeing a bar or going to a pub and then getting excited, and he goes, partakes 1 or 2 drinks. Then it is very temporary, and after that he's back to normal uh, when this effect goes away.
Mm.
But a devotee, in that sense, by virtue of his internalization, by his reading, by his association with exalted devotees, he has transcended these experiences 24 by 7. Often, if you see, Prabhu, after some time, this alcoholic, once he takes a lot of liquor, the liquor also doesn't get him the high he's going for.
Mm.
So after some time, the liquor doesn't work, and secondly, the effect of liquor goes away quickly within an hour or two, and then he's yearning for that experience, and he can't keep on doing, and after that he has to get rid of his liver or kidney, whatever the case may be. But in the devotional thing, the difference, to respond to your question, is devotional service is a very permanent experience. It's a it's a transcendental experience wherein you transcend the modes. And often, if you see, earlier we all had friends who were not devotees, and they will come, they will, and after some time it becomes very boring. But the devotees who have taken to Krishna consciousness seriously, they come day in, day out, every Sunday. They hear so it's a very permanent effect in our, because it touches the soul, right? And the
Mm,
alcoholic is touching the body, and he's getting the high, because when this alcohol is touching some of the aspects of this internal throat or wherever, he's getting that high. But after that, the body without the without the soul is material, and material adopts, and after that he doesn't get high. So the difference in my mind, Prabhu, is the permanency, the because Krishna consciousness can be so intoxicating that people who have taken to Krishna consciousness, they have left Krishna consciousness for some time because they moved to a different place. But
mm,
from the far off, if there is a Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they all come back running. They look for devotees. They go to Idaho where not many devotees are there, but they look for association through Zoom. So that is the difference, bro.
very nice. So it's basically that one is permanent, the other is temporary.
Yes, thank you so much. But
Thank
I'm sure people have different thoughts, but that's how I would like to respond to your
No, I
question,
think
Prabhuji.
that's that hits the nail on the head. I mean, you'll drink, and then after a while, you need two, three, four, even a bottle. Two bottles will not give you the same effect.
Exactly.
But you could see Krishna, and no matter how much you see him, it will always be something new.
Yes, yes. And Prabhuji, like you might have seen Krishna in other temples, in the other local temples. Here in this, what I've experienced in other New Jersey temples, they don't change the attire. They don't consider Krishna as a person. They will just keep the dress like that for a week or two or a month and change it.
Mm,
But here in our temple, you see the Shringar twice. So there is always that newness, and you always see that. And Srila Prabhupada emphasized the importance of Shringar, and that really is a cornerstone, that Krishna is a person and he is wearing this beautiful dress which is red in color, and you would not, and nobody of us would look anything like Krishna in the red dress. Because of the red dress, Krishna, the dress is looking beautiful, and it becomes so the Shringara angle, the so many, Krishna is multidimensional, the Prasad angle, and the Katha angle. So there is so many to look forward to. So it becomes very intoxicating after that
mm.
as well.
Excellent, Prabhu. Thanks. Dandvat. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your comment. Any other thoughts you want to add? Anybody wants to opine? We're talking about transcendental mellows, and we went over 5 kinds of mellows in the second paragraph of chapter 20.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I think this topic was started by Madhupati Prabhu on Friday, and I was a little confused. Um, so with the examples that you gave today, I have a clearer picture of everything. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. I just wanted to thank you for that. I have a better, because I can picturize it, like you gave the example of the two brothers, and then Lakshmi ji, and like, so it's clear. I was a little confused on Friday, when he started. I'm like, I'm not going to understand this part, though I've read it like long time back. But thank you so much for explaining so well. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Prabhupada. And on this, see, as we discussed, Mataji, and everyone, Krishna consciousness is not something like you like it immediately. It increases over a period of time. I'm sure 5 years back, if you join Krishna consciousness, your awareness, your ability to understand Krishna, and still we all are learning. And like 5 years later, I'm sure you will have even more clearer understanding, because Krishna is magnificent, is magnanimous, he's very merciful. There is so many tenets of Krishna which we learn over a period of time. And Krishna touches everyone so differently. Some people got attracted to prasada, that's why they join Krishna consciousness. Some people like Shringar, some people like the Bhagavad Gita angle, some people like Srimad Bhagavatam, and everybody is touched differently. So the explanation may vary, but having ruchi in Krishna is more important. Uh, and devotees are very so there are certain times when we also do not. uh, Yesterday there was a question as to where does Lord Shiva protect, and there were some few comments I got after that which was very eye-opening for me, actually. One question which came to me is, so many times Mughals have plundered the Krishna temples, and Lord Shiva was not there to protect. And which is an absolutely fantastic question, actually. It's worth thinking about. And also, there are times when there are people in Jagannath temple the thieves who come to steal, and there you hear that the snakes of Lord Shiva from the neighboring temple comes and protects those ornaments, and the thieves run away. So there are many aspects how Lord Shiva has protected. But all I wanted to say is devotees are so multidimensional. They bring so many varieties to the perspective. Uh, it's so interesting to hear different perspectives. Thank you so much, Mataji, for a comment. So we can end here if there is no other comments or reflections. Any comments? If there is no other comments, we can end here. And we have Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow at 6:30 and Nectar Devotion Part 3 probably of Chapter 20 tomorrow at 7 p.m. Amritanand Prabhu, you want to close the session, if you don't mind?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Let us offer our prayers to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya chevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grantaraj Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki
Jai.
Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanandi. Hari
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 Bol.
Bol.
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Hema Jagannath
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Prabhu, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
everyone.
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you
Hare
so much,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna. Hare Bol.